So here we are, NAB 2023. Audio Design Desk has a 2.0 version coming out?
Yes, so we are proud to show that we have some new features implemented for our 2.0, which will be released very soon. And we have a couple new features I'll be more than happy to show that we didn't have last year.
Like?
So one of the last things that was a very high demand thing was we had an extension for Final Cut Pro, but now we have more extensions for Premiere and for DaVinci Resolve. We also have some more AI technology that helps isolate certain sounds. So if you actually want to isolate the sound effects away from a movie trailer and want to keep the dialogue, we have that technology as well, so you can practice doing your own sound design to dialogue from a major motion picture.
So the difference between porting it to Final Cut Pro and DaVinci and Premiere, how difficult is that?
It actually works very smoothly. So I'm actually already connected to Final Cut in this case, where all I had to do in Final Cut Pro is go to our extensions, and we have the ADD audio bridge. It brings up this little icon right here, and then you just press our icon to make sure we have Audio Design Desk live. And in 2.0, we slicked up our UI feature a little bit. Here we are, we have no audio, and I want to go ahead and connect us. So up right here, we have this extension window where all my other extensions would be. We're going to be using the ADD audio bridge. It's going to bring up this little window right here. I'm just going to toggle our icon here to come back into Audio Design Desk. And it's going to show us our extension window right here. And this is where I'm going to see all the other NLEs I can choose to connect to. And in this case, I'm going to do Final Cut Pro. And all I got to do is just switch this on. And now I can control both the timelines from Audio Design Desk.
One question.
Yes.
My first question. If you get a license, do you have both Premiere, Resolve, and Final Cut in that one license? Can you switch
in
back
the
and
Pro
forth?
license is where you can have the extensions available for all the other NLEs.
So you can go back and forth with one license?
Yes, correct.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, now that we're connected in here, let's go and just go show you a quick little sound pass. So now that we're in Audio Design Desk, the first thing I want to show you is I'm going to show you the original audio from this John Wick 4 trailer that's on YouTube.
I'm going to need God.
So we have all this original audio, but what if I want to take out the sound effects and just focus on the dialogue so I can add my own sounds? So this is where the isolator comes in, where it actually understands the stereo file and it could separate the sound effects away from the dialogue. So then if I mute the sound effects, we have just the sounds. But then when I mute the dialogue,
Going to need God. Ready, John?
and you can hear that it brought in the reverb pretty well in that as well. So now that I can get rid of the original sound effects, I can now do a quick sound pass. So that's one of the new features that we have for Audio Design Desk 2.0. But let's go in and just start adding in some sound design elements in here. So because everything in Audio Design Desk is a trigger-based system, if I were to hit H, it's going to bring in a cinematic hit, T would bring in a transition, R for a riser. So I can utilize these tools and I can actually go through in real time and perform the sound design elements I want here.
I'm going to need God.
And I'm going to do one last hit for the title right here. Cool, so it pulled from our 75,000 sound library here, but in the event if I don't like these sounds, in any other software, I would have to delete and start and manually sync those sounds one by one. But I can actually select all the sounds that I don't want, and I hit Command R, and now it's going to give me all new sound design elements, but it's going to keep everything in sync to where I place it on the timeline.
Did you say 75,000?
We are at 75,000 sound effects currently, and we release new content every Friday. So that number keeps going up. I think last year we were here, we were probably at 50,000, so we've just been...
Every time I turn around, there's a new email, there's a new download, and that's all included if you have either subscription or a master license, correct?
Yes, correct. It does come with the higher tier. The lower tier does not get the updated packs, but with that Pro version, you get all the new sounds every Friday, from music loops, sound design elements, footsteps, sound effects, everything. Every Friday we release new content.
And people, that's the important thing is nowadays, you won't get you don't get strikes on YouTube for using these.
Correct. So that's the big thing that we offer here is that we offer royalty-free sound effects. So on that lower tier, we do have it for internet rights. So if you're a content creator who just makes videos on YouTube or puts your film on internet, you get the internet royalty-free rights. You don't have to worry about any sort of copyright issues. The Pro license, you can actually use it on major motion pictures because you have commercial rights. If you choose to use any of our sounds, don't have to worry about any of the copyright situations.
That's a big deal.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, here at Audio Design S, we take absolute pride in the sounds that we create, but we take more pride when we know that people can use it effortlessly and not have to worry about any copyright strikes. We're just happy to see that everyone's using it in the new efficient way and what we provide in Audio Design S. So I have all the sound design elements here, and I actually want to fine-tune my replacements here. So I actually already had the intensity set to 4 and 5, and I had some organic sounds because that's the type of sounds I was originally looking for in this scene. And I did actually like a lot of the sounds, but let's just say we want to replace maybe this drum element here. We can actually replace it directly on the timeline, and I can audition different type of drum elements. So I can still bring the intensity up here, and we can listen to different sounds. But let's say I like this one right here. I just hit enter. It automatically replaces it on the timeline without losing that sync. A lot of the tedious process is when you have to manually resync the sounds after you realize you don't like that. That takes away too much time. So we're bypassing the tedious process to make you focus solely on the creativity of your timeline.
You actually play this timeline like it's a musical instrument.
Exactly. That's kind of how we like to treat it. We like to act like we're playing it musically, which is also why we have this trigger window here, and you can assign either your numeric keypads to individual sound effects, or if you have a MIDI controller, you can assign C3 as a sound effect. And then that way it looks like you're playing music, but truly you're just playing the sounds. So it is like playing an instrument. So since I like the sound design, I'm going to show you really quick on how you can do the sound effects the same way. So just like I explained, all these numbers here are my numeric keypads, and I have different sound effects for each trigger. So I have these gun reloading sounds. I got some punching sound effects for number 2. Number 3, I got my whooshes. We have some driving sounds for number 4. And then number 5, I got some pistol shooting sound effects. So I can either do things in real time, but I will just go nice and slow here just to show you that you can just scrub through the timeline, and right here he's reloading the gun here. So I'm going to press number 1, and it's going to bring that sound effect right on the timeline for me. So as soon as I'm happy with the sounds right there, I can just keep moving forward. So we just go again, he reloads the gun again one more time right here. And maybe right before this scene transitions here, I'm going to press 5 to bring in the gunshot sound. Cool. So I can just keep scrubbing through. So now we have that fighting scene. And again, number 2 has my punching sounds, 3 with the whooshes here. So I'm going to just scrub through. I'm going to press 2 and 3 to bring in those sound effects. And then I'm going to do it again right there where he's punching him and he's flying in the air. And here he's moving the weapon. So I'm going to press number 3 for just the whoosh sound here. And then one last kick sound right there. So let's just take a listen to that so far. Excellent. So now we have this car driving scene right here. So again, I got him where he's shooting the gun. So I'm going to press number 5 to bring in that pistol sound. And number 4 is our car sound effect. And if you notice actually, when it pulled in the sound, notice that it's not bringing in the sound effect at the very beginning, because every sound effect does not always start at 0. We put sync markers on each individual sound, and we put it at the most important element of what the sound has to offer. So if you want to replace it, you can replace it effortlessly, keeping it in the time.
That is a big deal.
Yes, absolutely a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah, so then it gives me the option if I want to replace it with other options here, but it will, the most important element will stay in sync to that exact frame where I perform the sound at. So we're just going to finish out the scene really quick. I'm just going to scrub right through here. So again, every time I'm seeing him fire the gun, I can just press 5. And then now he's moving the sword here, so I'm going to press 3 for those whoosh sounds. And now that we have all the sound effects, I'm going to show you another feature we have in 2.0. So I can actually automate all of our audio levels here with an auto gain here, and I can adjust it based off the loves level I choose to have it at. I like to start off at -18 because I like to have it balanced while having enough headroom if I decide I want to mix it into another software. So I just press apply, and it's going to now bring all the volumes to about -18 to give me just a decent balance before I begin my mixing process. But let's take a listen to everything I just brought in here. Excellent. So I love that, but now I'm ready to bring it back into Final Cut. So then all I have to do is just either I can bounce it as a stereo file, or I can import the entire project. So I'm going to select this here, and then it's going to analyze and render our project right here. And now that it's ready, I just drag this onto our project here. And then with just a few clicks, I could just go right into here. And now all the sounds I just did now live in Final Cut Pro. So you can see it's that simple, it's that effortlessly to be able to just go, bring your audio into your video editing engine and then go right back into video editing simultaneously back and forth if you wish. And notice with even all the metadata, it knows there's certain role because there's an AI technology that understands what each sound is. So even when I bring it into Final Cut Pro, it does categorize it pretty clean here, and it's nice and color coordinated just the way I like it here.
And is that automatically assigning those roles? Did you do that ahead of time?
It's actually because our AI, we have metadata that goes in the back end, and then actually Final Cut Pro understands when it knows it's a sound design element versus a sound effect element. So it's a collaboration between both the softwares where it knows what type of sound it is there.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So it's just that easy that I can now bring audio back into my editing video editor and do simultaneously video editing and audio editing. It's a new way of adding audio to video using Audio Design Desk.
Yeah, and besides all these great features that you have, once again, I want to emphasize all the Foley effects that are royalty-free. You have loops too, right? Music loops?
Absolutely. We do have some music loops and music construction kits, so you can actually adjust in your replacements here. You can actually adjust either based by BPM or key. I could try to show you really quick on how quick we could do this here. Whoop, we got a little bit of stuttering there. So I'm not the main musician person here, but we do have some shortcuts here. So if I hit Control-1, it's going to bring in a percussion loop. And then if I bring in Control-2, it's going to bring us a bass line. But then we have sounds that are in different BPMs, but I want to lock the BPM. So we actually have a global time stretch right here, and it's at 120. So when I turn this on, now all the BPMs are going to be connected as 120. No matter if it was originally a 140 BPM or 90 BPM, I could keep bringing in other elements in here. But now let's say I want to be able to adjust the key. So we actually have the key feature right here, and let's say I want to do it all in the key of A, and I'm actually going to get rid of some of these keywords here.
Sure.
And maybe just bring out the intensity so I could get anything here. So maybe I'll just highlight the bass and this little loop right here, and you can see pretty closely here that they're in A minor. So you can start stacking different sounds to create your own musical composition here. And when you do it this way, you also don't have to worry about any copyrights with the loops at all. Once you make it with our music construction kit, it's officially yours. Originally all yours.
So what I really love is the fact that this is your application here. There's your playhead, and I can still see Final Cut Pro underneath.
Exactly, yes. Because we know that we have our own video engine, but we know that we have video editors who don't want to leave their home software.
Right.
You know, they have their method on using that software. They don't want to go anywhere else. So that way we can also treat it as an extension, so it could be a part of your workflow rather than taking over your workflow.
Right.
And yeah, it fits right on the timeline, nice and sleek. But I do like to show right there to show everyone that you can now connect both the timelines, and it looks incredible.
It is incredible. Absolutely.
So yeah, just some of the incredible features that we do here at Audio Design Desk. We're simply reinventing the workflow of audio to video in a much faster and more efficient way.
No, it's the best application by hands down for audio, for designing audio, for loops, for Foley effects. I mean, just how much do you spend on if you're getting a Foley effects library? A lot of money.
It's a lot of money already just to buy that, and it's also a lot of money if you want to hire a Foley artist.
Yes.
So we try to be in collaboration as a day-to-day content creator who may not have access to all this stuff or have the money to hire a Foley artist.
Right.
So now you can become the Foley artist by simply performing the sounds. Imagine doing footsteps. You assign your footsteps, and you're just kind of watching as they're walking.
Yes.
As you're walking.
Yes,
You know?
and of course, once you assign them, you can also adjust them.
Yes, because once it's on the timeline, I could change it with any other sound. It's almost like a workflow where, as I'm placing the sounds, I don't even care what sounds are coming in my first pass. I'm just worried about as far as syncing it to the timeline. Then I can start doing my replacements.
And now the question is, version 2.0, when it comes out, Is there an upgrade price for that, or is that included with if you have a perpetual license?
Yeah, so if you're already an active user of Audio Design Desk, you will get the updates without any other extra purchase.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Now let's get your name so we have it on camera.
Yes, my name is Jonathan. I'm also one of the sound designers and developers of Audio Design Desk. So I primarily create a lot of the sound elements for all the weekly sound packs we release. So once we're not doing the trade shows, we're just back in the lab and just creating sounds to get it out to you guys.
And where are you based at?
We're located in West Hollywood, California.
Okay. Okay. And you don't work with Avid though?
Not with Avid, but we do have a collaboration with the Media Composer, but we are still kind of working some of the obstacles around there. But we just definitely wanted to make sure we had it for Final Cut, because we do see a lot of Final Cut users, Premiere users, and Resolve users.
Sure.
So we spent the last year, when we were at NAB last year, we spent that entire year until we came here to make sure that we have all those extensions ready for you.
Right. And plus, Avid users can still use the Foley effects and stuff. It's just not synced up yet.
Yes, but you can also export, your traditional AAF, and then you can connect it to Pro Tools through MIDI timecode, so that you could connect the timeline in Pro Tools if you want to do it that way.
There you go.
Yes.
Fantastic. And then once you get 2.0 out, you're just going to relax and do nothing else for the rest of the year.
I think we're going to take a vacation. We might go to the Bahamas for like a week, have a nice little Mai Tai.
Absolutely.
And then we'll come back and add some more sounds for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Because every time I turn around, there's another email in my, from you guys in my email client. Oh, we got another pack, we got another pack, we got another pack. It's all the time. You said it's on Fridays?
Yes, on Fridays we commonly release them, and then we have the emails all sent out. We'll have all the social media promotions showing the sound packs within like that next following Monday.
Fantastic.
So that way we could just spread it out on our social media that we have a brand new pack. We have an incredible team here that just works really hard to make sure that we get all the things that our users need.
And what's your booth number so I can tell people?
That is a great question. So we are at booth N1828.
1828, and you're in the North Hall. Just come in by Black Magic, make a left, go down a little bit, and make a right.
Yeah, because of course you can't miss Black Magic over there. They've taken over like 1/5 of the building here.
They do every year.
So once you see them, just start going left and you'll find us.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Richard.
All right.
Appreciate it.